YouTube family, welcome into today's video, which is going to be a review on the brand new Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I know that everybody's really excited about this palette. It's one of those palettes that has been hyped up. So I'm going to answer the question, is it worth the hype and what do I think about it? But if you're new to my channel, please subscribe by clicking the red button below and hit the bell next to that subscribe button so that you can be notified of any future videos that I'm having. Thank you so much for subscribing and being here. What I want to talk about, I'm actually going to talk about two Naked Urban Decay products. This one is the Naked Skin Shape Shifter product. You guys have probably seen this on YouTube. And then this one, of course, is the palette, the Naked Heat. I am not going to do full swatches for you today because I'm sure that you've seen swatches all over the place. I'm just going to give you my honest, unbiased thoughts about this palette so that you guys can see that somebody that is aging, somebody that is a little bit more mature, somebody that is not a big, huge YouTuber, what their thoughts are on this. Okay, first of all, I want to talk about formula on this. Formula on it is right up there. It's very soft. They're very blendable. I really do think the formula is wonderful. They almost blended themselves. I am wearing that on my eyes today as a look. They almost blended themselves. I felt really good about the formula. There was a bit of kick up, but I find that in just about any eyeshadow that I use, whether it's Anastasia Beverly Hills or whether it's Makeup Geek or ColourPop or any of those, you're going to have a certain amount of kick up unless you're using like almost a cream product. So I really did enjoy having the blendability of it. It blended really, really seamlessly, really easily. Now, what do I think about whether or not it is cost effective? My biggest beef comes with this palette in two things. First of all, the palette is quite dark, and I know that if any of you have seen this on social media or on YouTube, you have noticed probably that it does look like it's a really dark palette, and it really truly is. So in the look that I have on my eyes today, I used these first two colors over here right next to that very first cream color, and I used those two colors right there as transition colors, and then I stepped over into this color right here for my lid, which is a shimmer color, and then I stepped all the way over here as the deepening color on the outer V. So I used about 4 to 5 colors in the palette today. I will say that when I stuck my finger into this product right here, which there's only 2 shimmers in the whole palette, well, I'm sorry, 3. There's 3 shimmers in the whole palette. Here, here, and here. And I will say that when I stuck my finger into this particular product right here today, I actually got so much on my finger that it was just flaking off and falling on the ground. And I was a little bit concerned about that. So be careful about the frost colors, or not frost colors, the metallic shimmer colors in here, because I think that they can be a little bit soft, and so you need to go a little bit easy on them. I always stick my finger in to put any product on my lid. I always stick my finger in the eyeshadow, so I'm not used to the product being quite as soft as this one is. But the other thing that really kind of stands out and kind of bothers me about the palette is these colors are so similar. I mean, why couldn't they have put like a shimmer cream color in here? Why couldn't they have branched out and put some deeper like brown colors in here, or some plum colors? Because this color right here is really the only one that even has a tiny bit of plum, second to the last color. Tiny bit of plum, and it does not have any, hardly at all. When you get it on your lid, it doesn't look like that. So the colors are so similar. So what I'm going to do is I want to show you my eyes today, and just take a look at the eye color, the eye look that I chose to do. And really, I tried to go, if you take a look at it, I tried to go from the lightest colors to the darkest colors to give as much contrast as I could. But really, these are so similar, and I think that's the part about this palette that is bothering me, and I understand that that is the naked theme in the naked palettes, because a long time ago, I had one of the naked palettes I just borrowed it from a friend for a little while and just used it, and I felt like the same thing. All of the colors were so similar, and that was really kind of a letdown for me. So I think that's probably the letdown for me on this palette. I think that Urban Decay could do a better job in just bringing colors together, like even if they did like a quad of colors where you felt like you could have 4 colors, 4 colors, 4 colors, and they each could, almost like the Kat Von D palette, you know, she has the warm, the cool, and then the neutral colors in her shade and light palette, but they're just like, these colors are so similar that it's like, there just seems to me that they could branch out and bring more colors in. Now I realize that that is the whole concept, is that you get a monochromatic palette. But for me, spending $54 on a monochromatic palette is pretty steep. If I wasn't a YouTuber, I'm not exactly sure if I would do that, because I feel like so many of these colors, even though there is a variance in the rust, it is just a rust palette. That's what it is. But I feel like the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette you can get multiple looks out of, whereas this palette I really couldn't. And the other thing that bothered me about it is the fact that there wasn't that lighter shimmer color in there, because I don't have a lot of lid space, and I like to put a pretty bright lid color across there to make my eyes pop, my eye looks pop, and so I'm going to have to reach for another palette in order to do that. I can use this color, and I did use this color underneath the brow bone and in the corner there today to try and do the highlighting, but again, I didn't feel like it was quite enough of a pop. I'm going to have to reach for another palette or another eye color in order to complete the looks that I like to get. So I know that I'm kind of being a Debbie Downer, and I really don't want to offend anybody. If I had gone into a store and I had swatched this palette against, you know, next to the Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm talking about that so much because that is obviously my ride or die palette. But I think that if you put the two side by side, you're going to see that the quality is every bit as wonderful and the same. You're going to get so many more looks out of the ABH palette as compared to the Urban Decay. So here is my recommendation. If you want to get this palette, if you're dying to get this palette, do it. I feel like all of the quality, all of the standards of Urban Decay are right up there. I feel like this is a better, smoother formula than they've ever had before. I feel like it's much, much better. If someone were to come to me and they were to say, would you please recommend to me a really, really good palette that's very versatile that I can have in my collection, somebody that just can't afford to buy every new palette that comes down the pike, I would have to say, I wouldn't say this one. I would say the Anastasia palette. So those are my 2 cents worth on the Heat palette. Now I wanted to just really quickly, because I was also able to pick this up this week, was the Urban Decay Naked Skin Shapeshifter palette, and this one is in the light to medium. I just want to really quickly run over this one with you too. So on one side of this, it has 5 cream products, and on the other side of it, you have 4, I'm trying not to blind you with these mirrors, 4 powder products. Okay, I really do love these powder products. Gorgeous formula, again, blendability, fantastic, again. The powder products are fantastic. You have your warm bronzy color, then you have your cool or your mid-toned contour color, then you have kind of just a under eye brightening powder or setting powder, and then you kind of have more of a highlighting powder right here. So this side of the palette, I have nothing to complain about. I think it's gorgeous. I think that it absolutely is just one that they really did a really good job on. Now my problem with this palette comes on the cream side. I'm not a huge cream product person to begin with, so when I take a look at this, my first thoughts were, I want to get into this peachy color and this peachy pink color to do some color correcting, and as I did, this formula is, it's so, I can't even begin to describe to you how how thin it is. There's no creaminess to it, and I could not get any sort of color correcting out of that peach color. That's it right there. There's just nothing to that peach color at all. It just goes away in like one rub, one swipe. I could not pat it in. There was nothing I could do about it. Then down here is like a concealer color. Didn't work at all. So these three were absolute no's. And then this one right here, I'm assuming this is a brightening color to use, or if it's a shadow base. Again, it creased. It just was not good. The only one that I really appreciated in here was the cream contour, but you have to be really careful about cream contour in that you need to use like a duo fiber stippling brush where you can go ahead and you can use that and just pat it on, because you can't rub, because you're going to rub away your foundation or whatever else you have underneath there. So you have to be really careful about the cream products. But as a whole, and for the amount of money, I would have to say go over and look at Makeup Revolution's Pro Contour palette. That's just my own personal opinion, just simply because these are basically the same thing without the cream products, and I think that you get a better value. It's every bit as good a quality, and yeah, I was not very impressed with this one either. So unfortunately, both of these palettes, if I were to recommend palettes, I wouldn't be sending you guys out to buy these palettes right away. I think that this palette is gorgeous, and it's one to be had if you love palette. Know that it's not terribly versatile, and there's not going to be a lot of looks that you can get out of it. At the cost too. You know what? Okay, let's just get into this for just a second here. First of all, did any of you guys see on Snapchat or Instagram or anything what Urban Decay did to the pre-launch of this palette? They sent out a big, huge PR package the day before they sent these out to the influencers or the beauty bloggers. And it was a huge package, and it was like, Urban Decay is dropping something hot tomorrow. This huge package, it was full of like 5 or 6 hot sauces, all different kinds of hot chips and snacks and different things. And it was a cool idea, really cool idea. So they sent that out to all the big influencers and to the gals on YouTube. And I thought it was a really cool idea. And then the next day they sent them this. Okay, this is what we were dropping, was the heat palette. I get the theme. I think they did a really great job on thinking of that little advertising ploy. However, do you guys realize how much that cost them? It cost them so much to be able to put those packages together and then go ahead and send the palette out the next day the way they did anyway. But you know, for me, I would rather be able to say that this was a $40 palette instead of all that junk going on. The other thing that gets me these days, and I'm really, my eyes are like becoming wide open about this kind of stuff. And you know, I got into YouTube at the beginning because I really just wanted to be a part of the beauty community, which I feel like unless you're 25 years old, you just really can't break into, honestly. But I got into YouTube and doing this because I really love beauty products, and I have loved them my whole life. But one thing that I have, it just kind of chaps my hide, is that realizing that these companies, these cosmetic companies years ago would have had to put out big, huge dollars in order to do their advertising and pay people like Cindy Crawford buku bucks to promote their products. They don't have to do that anymore, because all they have to do now is send out a PR product on the hopes that the person that gets that PR product will feel warm and fuzzy enough about the company that they're just going to give them a glowing review. And then all of you millions of subscribers, you go out and you buy this on the thoughts of that beauty blogger. Now, it's a great way to advertise, but the money that they're saving is incredible. But my point is save a little bit of that PR package money. Like they didn't necessarily need to drop that big package beforehand. They could have just dropped the heat palette and done it that way, or got on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat and done it that way too. Save some of that money, put it into here, and save us a few bucks. Anastasia Beverly Hills is $42. This is $54. Kind of do the math, you guys. You kind of see where I'm coming from and what I'm talking about. I hope hopefully you do, and hopefully I'm not offending anyone. I'm not trying to, I'm just kind of trying to be realistic. That's it, I'm down off my soapbox now, I'm back to earth, and that's it for today's video. Okay, I love you guys so much. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like me doing quick reviews for you, and I will see you in my very next video. I love you all. Bye-bye.